The Galapagos Island group of islands 1,000 kilometers of most of the people who live there speak Spanish. Century, the Charles Darwin cited the island. The Galapagos Islands are a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island in the Pacific called the Beagle and wrote about unique experiments, including a journal, tourist series. Darwin's studies at Galapagos had developed studies of animal and human development. A noisome island of many rubies, type of birds, and interesting things to attract mates. The birds exchange presents dance around the roof. One tree, and some of them take pools or lovely beaches where visitors can swim free. There are people living on only 5 the island. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population on the island and is home to Charles Darwin Research Station. Because of the location, the Galapagos Islands should be hot. In November, the study called windflow. It means the most of it, and as often as during from December to May, temperatures around 25 degrees. Sometimes heavy rain. Also, because the location or many other islands, for many years the island had little contact with people. The types of animals plants to develop a unique world. The first Europeans who discovered the island were in the early 16th century. They find in peoples, but they don't have evidence that American people had been there before. Europeans brought their cats, roast dogs, rats, mice, hippos, and insects to be island. These creatures relied on the animals and birds, which could not find themselves. The island are paired together. Because the animal plants the island so usual, government other organizations make serious effort to keep them. There have several programs to get worse unnecessary. Many scientists go there and for studying research. They try to protect nature and the human population living on the island and the growing number too. Both races are made up for the island. The Galapagos Islands, a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people lived in the Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sighted the islands simply called Beagle, wrote about the unique animals he found, including giant tortoises, sailors, and unusual birds. Darwin's studies at Galapagos helped develop the animal and human development. A nursing movie. Interesting things to attract me. The birds exchange presents and dance around the shells approach free. They are the usual for like a tree. Some of them so cool for the lovely beaches where visitors can swim and play. There are people living on the 5 with the island. Island of Santa Cruz have a large human population. Galapagos Island should be hot. The course the temperature lasts in June to November. The study called growth. Most day than fall. During the warm season of December to May, the temperatures are around 25 degrees. It is warm and sunny. There is sometimes heavy rain. Though because of the location for many other islands, too many years islands have little contact with people. The types of animals plants that develop a unique The first Europeans discovered the island in the early 16th century. They did find in people, but they don't have evidence that the American people had been there before. Birds, bird, cats, cows, dogs, rats, mice, and insects to be island. These creatures are dumb, animals and bad, which could not defend themselves. The island are parked though, because the animal around the island so usual. Serious episode. There have been several programs. We'll go to another one. Many scientists come to the island studying research. They try to protect natural environment, human population living on the island, a growing number of tourists who resident neighborhood the island. The Galapagos Island, a group of land 1,000 kilometers the rest of Ecuador Pacific Ocean. Musil. The Galapagos Island, a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island in a ship called the Beagle. A lot about including giant land tortoises, a sea lion, large worldwide. Darwin studying the Galapagos helped with the development animal-human development. On the northern sea land, there are many beautiful rubies. However, birds does interesting things attract mates. The first exchange presents a downstream land as sharp as a bright tree. The island have a usual pond of life with tree, and some of them also hold lovely beaches where visitors can swim and play. Living on the roof of the island. The island have several population in the island, and it's home to Charles Darwin Research Station. During cold season last June, November, a study called December to May, because temperatures are around 25 degrees. It is warm and sunny, but there are sometimes heavy rains. Also, because of the location for many other lands, for many years, the island had little contact with people. The types of animals belong to the development and unique world. The first European discovered Ireland in the 16th century. When we find people patterns for the evidence, the South American people had been here before. European brought goats, cats, cows, dogs, rats, mice, poisons, insects to Ireland. Animals and pets could not defend themselves. They are not afraid of echo because the animal friends are not so usual. Government and other organizations make serious effort to protect them. There have been several programs that get to Boston and the support. Many scientists come to send us to research. There, and a growing number of tourists to posters made of the island. The Galapagos Island, a group of islands about 1,000 kilometers west in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who lived there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island in a ship called Pico. All about you need animals in Santi, include giant land tortoises, sea lions, whales, and the usual birds. Darwin studied the Galapagos helped to develop the studies about animal and human development. Another similar line of many rupees, a type of bird that has interesting things to attract mates. The bird exchange presents and dance around the streets by feet. They are not the usual branch of tree. Some of them straight pool, lovely beaches, where they can swim and play. There are people living on the farm of the island. The island of Santa Cruz has the largest human population in the island and is home to Charles Darwin Research Station. Because of location, the Galapagos Islands should be hot, but during the cold season, which lasts from June to November, a steady cold wind blows. At night, later once a day, no often work. During the warm seasons of December to May, with other temperature around 25 degrees, which is warmer and sunny, but sometimes heavy rains. Also, because of location for many other lands, for many years the island have little contact with people. The type of animals and the plants that developed are unique in the world. The first Europeans to discover the island arrived in the early 16th century. This finding people, but there is no evidence that South American people had been there before. Europeans brought goats, cats, crows, dogs, massive foods, and insects to the island. These creatures threatened the animal birds, which could not defend themselves. The island happened to Ecuador because the animals and the plants are so unusual The government and other organizations make serious efforts to protect them. The PET program is get costs and scientists consider and study research. They try to protect natural environment, human population living on the island, and the growing number of tourists of both races of the island. The Galapagos Island, a global island about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin settled the island in a ship called Pico, a variety of unique animals, including giant turtles, etc. Darwin studies in the Galapagos of the developed series about animal and human development. On the famous island, many beautiful bluebees, a type of bird that is interesting things that attract me. The birds exchange presents and dance around the shops of broad tree. The island have usual planted trees, and some of them frequent for lovely beaches where visitors can swim and play. People living on the five of the island. The island of St. Cruz has the largest human population in the island and homes to Charles Darwin Research Station. Because of the location, the Galapagos Islands should be hot, but during the cross season, which runs from June to November, a steady cold wind blows. Islands are host day, and there was often fog. During the warm season of December to May, the temperature is around 25 degrees. It is warm and sunny, but there are sometimes heavy rains. Also, because of the location for many years around, for many years the island have little contact with people. The types of animals and plants develop a unique kind of world. The first Europeans to discover the island arrived in the 16th century. They didn't find any people, but they didn't find evidence that South American people had been there before. Europeans brought goats, cats, squirrels, dogs, rats, mice, horses, and insects to the island. These creatures threatened the animals and birds, which could not defend themselves. The island are better by cattle. Because the animals and the plants in the island are so usual, the federal government and the other organizations make serious efforts to protect them. There are many programs, goals, and efforts. Many scientists come together and study research. They try to protect the natural environment, the human population living on the island, and the growing number of tourists that both in the middle of the island. The Galapagos Island, the global land about 100 kilometers west of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people lived there speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island near called Pico, all about unique customs, including giant tourists, sea lions, and unusual rivers. Darwin studies Galapagos to develop series animal and human development. On that similar land, there are many blue rubies, type of bird that does interesting things that attract me. The birds exchange presents and dance around the shore for the bright tree. The island of usual plant for the tree. Some of them stay lovely beaches. St. Croix has the largest human population in Ireland and home to the Charles Darwin Research Station. Because of their location, the Galapagos Islands should be hot. During the cross season, which lasts from June to November, steady cold wind blows. Islands are almost every day. That often some different, but it is warm and sunny. Right. Also, because of location for many of the land, many years the island have little contact with people. The types of animals or plants are developed by unique common. First Europeans discovered the island in the 16th century. They didn't find any people, but they found evidence that South American people had been there before. Europeans brought goats, cats, squirrels, dogs, rats, mice, possums, and insects to the island. These creatures threatened animals and birds, which could not defend themselves. The island will go down because the animals are found in the leisure. Other organizations make serious efforts to several programs to get will go another. Many scientists come to the island for study and research. They try to protect the natural environment, the human population of the island, growing number of tourists, prostitutes, and native island. The Galapagos Island, a group of land about 1,000 kilometers west of the Pacific Ocean. Most of the 40,000 people who live in it speak Spanish. In the early 19th century, Charles Darwin sailed to the island ship called the Pico. All about the unique animals of response, include giant land tortoises, seals, birds, and unique birds. Darwin studying the Galapagos helped him develop the animal-human development. On northern Simon, there are many beautiful rubies to provide about the extinction. Extension presents and dance around the shore of the broad ruby. The island of usual plant tree, and some of them tall forests, lovely beaches, where visitors can swimming play. There are people living only 5 of the island. The island of Santa Cruz holds a human population in the island, and is home to Charles Darwin Research Station. Because of the location, Galapagos should be hot. During the cold season, just in November, study called windblow. During the warm season, December to May, the temperature is around 25 degrees. It is sunny, but does sometimes have rain. Also, because of the location far from any other land, for many years around little contact with people. The types of animals and plants are developed in the world. The first Europeans discovered and developed in the 16th century. They find any paper, but only during the start was American people had been before. Blood, goats, cats, goats, dogs, rats, mice, sea horses, and sexton parents. These creatures that an animal more than fire, which could not defend themselves. The island are because the animal and plant in the island is so usual. The should make serious effort to protect them. There have been several programs to protect and many scientists come to the island for study and research. They try to protect the natural environment, the human population living on the island, and the growing number of tourists of birds to make a good island. The Galapagos Island. Sorry.